Hey guys, so I wanted to do a quick video about how I'm studying for internal medicine. So right now I'm about 5 weeks into internal medicine, and so I'm kind of getting into a groove of things about how I'm studying and how I'm going about staying on top of my studies so I do well in the shelf exam and prepare for step 2 CK, but also make sure that I'm optimizing my time while I'm at the hospital as well. Alright, so let's break this into kind of two categories. The one category will be how do you study when you're at the hospital while optimizing your time with the patients, with the attendings, and doing well in the hospital. And then the second part of it would be, how do you study when you're outside of the hospital, where you're just strictly in the books? What's the best way to study there? And so what I'm going to tell you, I guess I shouldn't have said best way to study, but what I'm going to share with you is what I'm doing and what I have found to be effective so far. Alright, so let's get started. The hospital setting. So before I say anything about studying, the first thing I want to say is when you are at the hospital, your main priority is loving on your patients, being there for your patients, making sure that every time you walk in that patient's room, they know how much you love and care about them. You know, when we look to scripture and we see in the Bible, we can see in James where it says that our life is a vapor in the wind or a mist, meaning that our life is gone like that. You know, and so we have to realize how precious life is. Not only our life, but every person's life that we interact with, especially in the hospital setting. You never know that when you go into that patient's room, that when you go in there the next time, they'll be there. Yeah, that's a very sad thought, but it's true. And so we need to make sure that our every interaction with our patient would be just that. That if we never got to see them again once we walked out of their door, we would have no regret because we know we just treated them as if their life is forever fleeting, that their life is a vapor in the wind, that their life is a mist. And so we want to show them the love of God every time we see them. So every time you walk into a patient's room, I want you to be thinking that way. Man, today, how can I show them how much God loves them? How can I show them how much I love them? Regardless of what I have going on with my family life, no matter how bad that attending just treated me, no matter that I spilled my coffee on me, I ran a red light, that I just had a rough morning, regardless of all of that, how can I show that patient how much I care about them? How can I brighten their day? How can I show them how much they are loved? So that's what I want you guys to be thinking about. And if you fail to do that, do not be afraid to admit it. Walk right back out of that room, talk to that patient, and be like, wow, ma'am, sir, I'm sorry. I've just had a rough morning. I don't know why I didn't treat you like you were the only thing that was on my agenda today. I'll do better. Forgive me. Be honest with your patients and love them endlessly with relentless passion. Alright, so now I'll get to the part that you guys want to know, how to study while in the hospital. So one of the main things I would do is that whatever patient you have, make sure to be reading up on their diseases and know how to manage it. For step 2 CK and while you're in the hospital, everything's about management. That's what I love about internal medicine. You have this patient that could have 15 diseases and you get to learn how and be very good at managing all of those. Okay, so I showed this book in another video, but the Pocket to Medicine, it is the Pocket Notebook, Pocket to Medicine, the Massachusetts General Hospital Handbook of Internal Medicine. This book really will teach you all you need to know, and it's very nice. It fits in your white coat, and you can just have it on you at all times. And so I'd say one thing is that whatever patient you have, say you're covering 7 patients, pick 3 of them and pick their disease states and read up on them, learn how to manage them, read up about them in this book, and then make sure you go to the newest articles that are coming out. Make sure you know the most recent and evidence-based medicine about each of these disease entities, and make sure you're always studying up on them. And then ask your attending to have you study stuff so that you could teach her it the next day so that you're always staying on top of your stuff. So really in the hospital setting, just make sure that you're always reading up on all your patients, because when you're trying to think about how to treat your patient that's literally right there, you're seeing them every morning and you're building a personal relationship with them and you want to make them better, you're going to remember that. You know, when you're just sitting looking at a book, there's no patient that is kind of like ingrained into that textbook yet. But then when you're in the hospital and you have a relationship with a patient, it makes remembering this material so much easier. Like, wow, Mrs. or Mr. So-and-so, I want to help them so bad. How can I be the best doctor I can for them? How can I learn how to treat their diseases? How can I learn how to manage them? And then it'll help you retain that information. All right, so in short, when you're in the hospital setting, make sure to be reading up, using your pocket medicine book. Make sure to build relationships, because that's going to help you want to learn how to treat your patients. And then another thing is be talking to the attendings. Make good relationships with the attendings, and always ask to present your patient. When you get to present your patient to an attending, you're going to get to tell them what your plan is for them, how you're going to manage them. And then if you're wrong, one, that's going to be embarrassing, so you won't forget it. And two, they're going to teach you how to do it. All right, so that's in the hospital setting. And then outside of the hospital setting, what am I doing? So again, I did the same thing in surgery. I always do a multiple pass system, right? And so for me, I'm using Online MedEd. I have all the PDFs right here. I have them all printed out, and so that's the Online MedEd PDFs. And so what I do is I pre-read them. So this morning I went over endocrine. I read through all of the endocrine sections of Online MedEd. That's my first pass. My second pass, what I'm doing is watching the videos. So then I'm watching the videos, and anything that he says that's not necessarily in these PDFs, I annotate into the PDFs. Okay, so then that's my second pass. And then my third pass, which hopefully I get to by around Friday or Saturday, about a week through, then I'm rereading the PDFs. And then my fourth pass is when I'm going through UWorld. And I'll go through UWorld, and anything I get wrong or anything I mess up on, I annotate back into Online MedEd. And then that'll be kind of my fourth pass. And I count UWorld as my fourth pass. Then finally, my fifth pass, which hopefully is 2 weeks at maximum, 2 weeks maximum from when I did the first pass, I reread through all of it. So then it has all my annotations from UWorld, all my annotations from the videos, and it should be a really solid foundation of studying. Now, this is going to help you do well on Step 2 CK, or it should. Okay, and I do this for every single system, but that's not really enough. You still want to be reading articles constantly. You want to be reading other books, but again, we're always short on time. So then just some other books that I would recommend is Master the Boards. I think that's a great book. I'm using it as well, which I'm very ADD, I get sick of a resource. I need to look at another one. So I try to know as much as I can about 3 different resources, which isn't the best study tactics, but I've found that's what works for me, because I'll get too bored and not pay attention. Okay, and then another book is Step Up to Medicine. I actually had both my books here, so I thought I would grab them. So, Master the Boards, Step 2 CK. This is a great book. And it goes into more detail than what Online MedEd does. So, if you want even more detail, you could definitely read Master the Boards. I think it's a great book. And then another one with even more information, which I highly recommend if you have the time, is Step Up to Medicine. Okay, and so these are the kind of the 3 resources I'm using. But honestly, mainly I do my 5-pass system with Online MedEd. And I think it's going to do well for me. I've been doing well in the UWorld questions, and so hopefully that will correlate to doing well on the shelf. Okay, so in short, 5-pass system with Online MedEd, reading Step Up to Medicine when you get a chance, and Master the Boards when you get a chance. And again, this is what I like to do. Do you need this many resources? No. Would I recommend this? Not really. But if you're like me and you get bored and you're going to lose concentration reading the same thing over again, go to these. But what I make sure to do is I know Online MedEd, my main resource, cold before I move on to these other ones. Alright, so that's it. That's how I'm studying for internal medicine. That's how I'm studying for Step 2 CK right now. Alright, so if you're doing something different and you think I'm messing up, let me know. Okay, and if you've enjoyed my videos, please like, subscribe, and share. Alright, I love you guys so much. And last thing, if you remember anything I've said, please let it be what it was at the beginning of the video. This book, not throwing my notes, but those notes do not matter nearly as much as your interactions with your patients. So every single day, show them endless love and relentless passion. Let's go be the best doctors we could be. I love you guys.